Well, hello everyone. It's wonderful to see you all here today. It's my pleasure to introduce Ariel Gulstrand. And Ariel grew up in Venice, California. She was one of 3 children. She has 2 older brothers. Survived that, by the way. That was good. She's raised by 2 single-parent households. She's a 2008 graduate of Venice High. And that's where she developed her love of sports medicine. She received a bachelor's degree in kinesiology, movement, and sports medicine from the University of Laverne. She has a master's degree at the University of Utah in athletic training. She moved from there to University of Denver for her first athletic training job, but kind of hankered to get back to California. So she applied 7 years ago and was hired by UCLA as one of their athletic trainers. Now she's in charge of student athlete well-being with responsibility for beach volleyball, swimming and diving, and tennis. So join me in welcoming Ariel Gulstrand.
I wish I was as good of a on-the-fly public speaker as those 2 before me, but I do have words written, so forgive me for reading. Thank you. Good evening, and again, thank you to the Carlston Family Foundation for having me. This is an amazing opportunity, obviously for all of you honorees, but also for us that get to speak on you. It just is so special. And I'm very blessed to be here today to speak on a good friend of mine now, Kirsten Farrell. I like to imagine everyone in here has someone who's influenced them really in their lifetime. So very few of us get to speak on them to their face in front of strangers. So hopefully I can do this right. My name is Ariel, and I am a certified athletic trainer at UCLA, like you heard, and a student at Venice High School. But I have been graced and blessed by the presence of someone very special in this room. Kirsten Farrell, a fellow athletic trainer and teacher, will be accepting this award, but not first without me flattering her a little. She's one of the most humble people I know. She sits in the back of the room or on the field on the sideline and watch everybody else have their moment, and she does it with a smile on her face and just such appreciation in her heart. And she's so kind, she's creative, she's driven to provide students with the best experience possible and share her expertise in sports medicine. She's originally a New England kid, but she traveled the world a bit, and she made her way to California about 20 years ago, and not long after did I get to meet her. I first met her in my 9th grade year at Venice High. I was an athlete. She was my athletic trainer, and I honestly didn't know much about her other than she was that teacher that always had the cool athletes hanging outside her room. And by room, I mean closet. She literally had a janitor's style closet that she had to work out of as an athletic training room at the time. It barely held a treatment table and a desk, and she somehow made it super functional. I'm pretty sure they were like still janitor rooms in there at some point. So, she, even in that closet, she was still so present with her students. She was the teacher that all the students wanted to have lunch with, and all the athletes wanted to gossip to, whether she wanted to hear it or not. And I thought, gosh, I just want to be cool enough to like have lunch with her or to hang out in there. But it's truly a testament to see how invested she was in her students and her athletes under her care, and how committed she was to supporting them. And I think the students were really drawn to that. I don't think Kirsten liked me initially. I should preface with I wasn't the best athlete at Venice High, and I was the youngest of 3 at Venice High School, so I wasn't always the quietest or the easiest to get along with. And my 2 older brothers, who also played volleyball at Venice, they left their mark as 2 older siblings sometimes do, so I had to come into that. Our volleyball coach kind of knew us as the arguers, and they were like, oh no, not another Gulstrand. So I think Kirsten may have felt the same way, but she and I joke about that sometimes now. In my sophomore year, I sustained a very serious ankle injury where I tore about every ligament in my lateral ankle, and she was the first one to evaluate me. And when my parents were not able to afford healthcare, she coordinated me to see physicians and get rehabilitation through Team to Win, the West Coast Sports Medicine Foundation that she worked with. And I felt so cared for. It was the first time someone had validated my pain and cared enough to follow up with me about it. This is one example of how Kirsten just goes above and beyond to provide all the resources for her students. Soon after going through a myriad of my rehab sessions, I knew sports medicine was the profession for me. It encompassed everything I wanted to do in life. The human body was so fascinating, and I would get a chance to help people, and who doesn't want to watch sports for a living? If only it was that easy, right, Kirsten? I signed up to take Kirsten's class just the very next semester, and I joined the sports medicine program as soon as I could. I took it so seriously, I think she may have thought I was a bit intense, but I'll call it perfectionism. In my first year of the club, I attended all the meetings, attended the practices, the games, and I even won an award in my first sports medicine competition. At the end of the year, she awarded me the Most Improved Trainer award in a plaque. And I do still have that. She gave plaques away, people. And I still have that hanging in my office today because it is an honest reminder of how far I've come and how much her effect on me. So her dedication and caring to her athletes, creating opportunities for her students to work alongside her, along with those athletes, it's admirable. The effort she put into developing a student program from scratch, all while taking care of her responsibilities for caring for the student athletes, was no small feat, yet she did it effortlessly. She turned that little storage closet into one of the most advanced sports medicine programs in the state. She worked for grants and funding to provide student athletes with better treatment and rehabilitation tools, some that's still even better than what we have at UCLA, I hate to admit. I wish I was kidding, but their anti-gravity treadmill is phenomenal. For her students, she developed opportunities on and off campus. She developed curriculums, purchased education equipment, and connected us with mentors, networking, and, like I said, those learning opportunities. It opened my eyes to the world of healthcare and sports medicine and gave me autonomy to experience at a young age taking responsibility and resourcefulness and accountability. I don't have a single anecdote that could possibly sum up all that Kirsten is, but she is the sum of long days, countless games, numerous athletes, conversations, relationships. She's a quiet leader, a collaborative coworker that I get to experience now, a problem solver, a mentor, a voice of reason, a very encouraging smile, but also sarcastic laugh, and a very warm hug. She has the ability to see the whole person and provide so much more than superb medical care. I should mention that I have an affinity for John Wooden, as I do work at UCLA. And some of you know some of his quotes, like, nothing will work unless you do, or if you don't have time to do it right, when will you have time to do it over? But I don't think you know that John Wooden also said, I think the teaching profession contributes to more of the future of our society than any other single profession. And I think of that quote when I think of Kirsten. Like the great leader that John Wooden was, Kirsten has the perfect balance of tough love and nurturing. I always felt supported, but I always wanted to make her proud. She influences countless of students that have come through her program as an athlete, a student, sports medicine club member. Some of those students have become physicians, surgeons, professional athletes, professors, and then a few have followed in her footsteps as athletic trainers. She's made the ultimate impact on our Venice community and way beyond. She's helped me pursue my career of athletic training. She gave me advice when looking for the right university to attend. I came back and she helped me study for my board of certification exam. She helped me network and has even helped me get opportunities to mentor students, just like I was once mentored through the West Coast Sports Medicine Foundation. And so she's become my voice of reason, someone whose opinion I value more than I care to admit. And to say she's had an influence on my career path and my philosophy is just a complete understatement. I still get really excited when I get to hang out with her in her classroom, because now I can do that because I'm cool enough. I would like to add that John Wooden also said, whatever you do in life, surround yourself with smart people who'll argue with you. And I think Kirsten and I also have that going for us. She does continue to push me to be a better professional, and the example that she leads is always on the forefront of my mind. I want to thank Kirsten for all of her efforts as a teacher, as an athletic trainer, and now, thankfully, as a close friend of mine. She's left a positive impact on our profession, individual lives, and across the world. Just talk to her and you'll know what I mean. I'm honored to be here and share this experience with her, and no one is more deserving of this prestigious award but you. Don't drop it. I'm still shaky. Don't. Cheers, yay.
Thank you very much.
Should we put it on the front?
You can take it and carry it over, hold it over your head.
Okay, yeah. Okay, good.
Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Okay. What a day, folks. What a day. For those of you who have not been with us all day, we started out with movement with Nicole. We got into groups and talked about being the light in our classrooms. Crystal, right? I'm learning everybody's name still. Crystal got us like talking about engagement. John's tomato story will stay with me forever about a plant that chose to grow when it was faced with adversity. And ask him about it. It's a really cool story. Marlene and Jason floored us and brought us like to our souls about what we need to do for all the children in our classroom, regardless of color. Kathleen's story, she was talking about bold movements and what a simple thing as a Post-it note on a student's desk can do. And to be completely honest, I still have a note from my junior year chemistry teacher the first time I got an A on a quiz. So, and I'm really old. So, it's just, and then the love fest that we had for Tim at the end of the day as he, ends this chapter and gets to enjoy the golf and the wine and all that good stuff. But it's, every teacher needs to have an Ariel. Every teacher needs to have this experience of having a student come back and talk to you. And you guys are good. You're really good because we hung out this week. I asked her if she wanted to go to the Chargers game tomorrow because I have a bunch of tickets. And she's like, oh, no, I can't. I have something going on. So, by the way, if anyone has family in LA and they want to go to the Chargers game tomorrow, let me know. I still have tickets. But it's really a rewarding experience to be able to see a student grow and prosper and go off to achieve these amazing things. I mean, folks, she's a certified athletic trainer at UCLA in, what are we, the Pac-16 now? Something that lots of people want to go. I mean, my sister-in-law also works at UCLA, but I'll get to her in a minute. But for us, the cool people do things like work at USC and UCLA. She jokes about, thinking I was the cool person and the cool athletes hung out. And now I'm like, she works with some really darn good, darn good athletes. So it's true. It's wonderful to have a former student become your colleague. And she comes back and works games with me. I have two of my kids who are a freshman and a sophomore now are on the UCLA sports med team under her mentorship. And it really is the chance to see that full circle of what we do in the classroom continue to grow and prosper. I'm severely lucky. I have lived a really rich, wonderful life in education. I actually started out as a second grade teacher in Tokyo. And I am so blessed to have one of my best friends from my very first teaching assignment. Leanne and her husband Michael came to the States about 4 years ago, and they happened to live really close by when this was happening. I was like, hey, come over and come to this dinner with me. I didn't tell her what it was about. I was just like, oh yeah, there's Educational Foundation dinner thing. Come on over. So, and my dad is here from the East Coast. He lives in Rhode Island and was able to come out. I'm a military brat, so we moved a lot of places. And as I was saying to Tim this morning, I went to 9 different schools. So I learned really quickly when teachers were good, they were my anchor. Like nothing could go wrong. They saw you. They were the magicians in your lives. And when teachers were bad, it could be a real struggle. My brother was my best friend growing up, because that tends to happen when you're in the military, because you move a lot and you get to be the new kids together. He is here with his wonderful wife, who is a PhD at UCLA in the School of Public Health, and they gave me my most favorite thing in life, which is my nephew Tate. So. The Carlston Foundation and the Carlston Family Foundation and Tim do this wonderful thing for us as teachers. We do our best to always see our students and hear our students and believe in our students. And it's been a tremendous gift to have this man come into my classroom, meet my kids, and turn around and see me, and see my program, and see all of us that are being honored. So I am forever grateful to the important people in my life. I am thankful to have met Mr. Brown now. I'm really curious to follow his journey next. If you haven't heard about it, talk to him. It's really cool. And I just want to say from the deepest parts of my heart, thank you. I'm very grateful, and I will carry this forever. And really am looking forward to this new and exciting family. So thank you.